This is a place.
This is the place?
This is a place. We want to talk about. This is a place.
Welcome to this week's episode of This is a Place podcast. My name is Nate, and with me is the man, the myth, the urban legend, Brandon.
In the flesh.
In the voice. In the sound booth. Well. What a week.
What happened?
Well, let's start off with my daughter's bike got stolen.
What?
I know, right? And I'm I'm upset that somebody took it. Like, who steals bikes anymore? Can you get anything from like a pawn shop or even queso? Nobody buys them anymore. COVID's over. Nobody needs bikes.
You can get a nice ride.
It's true. But who needs a 12-year-old bike? Yeah, but I have a bike rack that I usually put in my driveway and the kids can lock up their bikes, and I haven't brought it out yet. But her bike was outside for like a month or so, no problems. And then for some dumb reason, our cameras didn't pick up the movement, which makes me mad too. See who took it, but it's gone. I guess if somebody needed it more than I did, or she did, who knows?
It sounds like it was a well-crafted scam to me.
I think it was, I think you did it.
No, the timing was perfect. They scoped it out, watched that nothing, it didn't move for a month.
Right.
They figured out your glitch in your cameras so that you wouldn't find out who it was. And I think we should give a kudos to the thief.
Yeah, they win. Well, somebody last year, I had a mountain bike I bought when I was like 15 that I had forever. And I let my son use it, and he was using it quite a bit, actually. And then the one day he forgot to lock it up, it went missing. That one, I'm like, geez, you might get $20 for that. So that started off my Monday. And then Wednesday, my son used the bathroom in our master bedroom. And flooded the bathroom because he flushed the toilet, and for some reason he pushed too hard down on the thing and the flapper stayed open, and he clogged the toilet and didn't realize he clogged it and walked away. So by the time I found it, good 5 to 10 minutes have passed. So water went down the heating vent.
Oof.
So went to the basement a little bit. So it's got to spend my night cleaning up water damage. So it's been one of those weeks where you just want to punch somebody. Like, you just I need a punching bag. I need to get a punching bag.
It's not your son or your daughter. Maybe the thief that took the bike.
Yeah, maybe I should hit their hands with a hammer.
You're getting ahead of us.
Sorry.
Getting ahead of the episode.
Yeah, because I'm in charge of the discipline in this family. So that will all make sense in a minute if you keep listening to this episode. No, it was frustrating. I was like mad. Like, I just needed to how you had like built up like energy and you need to like release it.
Mm-hmm.
So I went like in the bathroom and like I hit the wall with my hand, like I slapped it, but I hit it so hard. Now you have
a broken hand.
No, I have a broken wall. I like put a dent in my drywall. I'm like, great. Now I got to fix the drywall. Now I look like one of those ragers,
What you should do is, I saw the photo of someone, rather than fix it, they just framed the dent in the wall.
Oh, yeah.
And made it an art piece.
That's not a bad idea. Put a picture. It's in the bathroom. That'd be weird.
Sculpted by Nate's hand.
So
May 2023.
There you go. Just a reminder for me to take a chill pill. Take a chill pill. So that's what so that was my week. And I'm nervous because things come in threes, right? So I'm like, oh, what's the bad thing's gonna happen next? But maybe my son's bike I think my son's bike getting stolen a while ago. That was the first thing. The second bike and then the flood. So
did you steal some petrified wood?
in the national park.
Again, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yes. So, anyways, how was your week, Brandon?
Not too bad. I don't remember much about during the week, but we did a fun thing I'd never done before over the weekend. I'd never been to the monster trucks before, Monster Jam, and my friend said he was taking his son and he invited us along, so took myself and my daughter up to Motorcycle Stadium and saw the monster trucks. We took tracks, so it was her first time going on tracks. She thought was pretty cool. And she thought tracks was so cool that 20 minutes into monster trucks, she wanted to go back onto the train, back onto tracks.
Oh,
Either she really loved tracks or she really hated monster trucks.
tracks was the highlight of the night.
I think so.
So you could have saved yourself $30 in tickets and
more
just
than
taking
30
tracks.
bucks. But yeah, in essence, we could have just rode the train all night for $5 for the day pass.
There you go. And then she probably even had more fun if you got on the
Front
runner.
Yeah. But it was pretty cool. I mean, I'm not like in a hurry to go again, but I thought it was
It's worth
cool.
going to once, right?
I didn't realize it was. I figured they just rolled into town and gave you a good show, but they have like rankings and points, and there's a whole like a sport, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Don't they do a few nights in a row and they'll talk about like who won the night before?
Yeah. And that got a little lost on me. I mean, I'm sure there's people that follow monster trucks and watch this stuff. I'm not one of them, so it was completely new to me. So all that was kind of lost on me, but I was just there for a good time, you know?
Was it? I mean, it was outdoor, right?
Yep.
So was it? I wonder how loud it is compared to when you're in the Mavic Center or Delta Center.
Well, that was my buddy's reasoning for us going to this compared to when they had it Maverick a couple of months ago. Is he said you can get fumed out and it's also a lot louder. But either way, we went with earplugs and headphones for the kids, so they didn't have to hear as much of a loud. But I don't know what the difference would be. I'd assume it's amplified a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it's because we went to I think it was at the Mavic Arena a few years ago, and I'm like, holy cow, that's loud. Even with the headphones on, you're like, it's loud. So, I mean, kind of fun. I mean, it's one of those like after like 30 minutes, you're like, okay, I've seen it.
Yeah, and that's I think where my daughter was coming from. She's like, okay, like we saw the monster trucks, we can go now. But they kind of save it. They want you to stick around, so they save the super fun stuff for the end. They did races at the beginning, and then after that, you could pick a couple of like skills challenges where they like balance on the front or the back, or they do this one where they drive on just two tires on the side. At the end, they do like just a freestyle, and they have like 120 seconds or something to do whatever they want, and they do backflips and stuff. And I think this is usually where the big crashes and destruction happens, which is I think it's kind of similar to NASCAR. That's the stuff you want to see.
Yeah.
And we did have a moment. It wasn't actually in this one, it was another one, but one of the cars flipped, did some kind of a flip or something, and then it ended up in the stands. And so it makes you realize why they had the first couple sections blocked off, because it like ended up on top of the railing and on top of the seats pretty close to us. So that was kind of cool. And they just left it there for a couple of rounds until they could come and collect it during a break or during intermission or whatever.
It's worth going to at least once.
Yeah. And we got our $20 cotton candy.
There you go.
Because we just wanted the cotton candy, but of course they couldn't sell just the cotton candy without the mask that came with it. It was a shark mask.
Oh,
for one
okay.
of the cars. So that's why it ended up being so much more expensive. I asked if they had any without the mask or if there was somewhere they sold those, and they said nope. But you can just throw the mask away. I'm like, that's not the point. It's not because I just want to throw the mask away. It's because I don't want to pay $20 for just
Yeah.
a thing of cotton candy.
Yeah. It's like, oh, it's kind of like when you go to Costco. If you get the hot dog, you have to get the drink. You can't get it without the drink.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
Sam's
can.
Club will let you. Costco won't.
They have to give you the drink.
It's $1.50 no matter what. Yeah.
I mean, they've got a similar deal at Sam's Club.
Sam's will let you get the hot dog without the drink, but it only saves you like 20 cents.
Oh, so you may as
So
well get it.
You might as well get it, right?
If you don't want the drink right now, just take the cup home and you've got a free cup. Or
Yeah.
not a free
Yeah.
cup, but
Yeah. Life has obviously been pretty busy as usual. So we didn't really have time to go out and visit any places this week.
we even both were in Logan this weekend.
Yeah, and we were trying to
And
pre-plan something.
we weren't there together, but we were the same day, just a different time, and
Yeah,
said, "Oh, we
I
can
bet you
coordinate."
money we had to have passed each other going down the canyon, or well, me going up and you going down, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the odds that we're both in Logan or had to go to Logan the same day? But
And both didn't have time to go see anything to include in the podcast.
yeah, you went to help your brother. I've got a pretty nice house I'm supposed to be listing on the market for sale in a couple of weeks. So anybody's looking to buy up there. And apparently the football coach at USU, when he came to town a few years ago, tried to buy this house that I'll
So
be
it's a good one.
listing. Yeah. And they didn't, I don't know what happened, but they ended up not selling to him. And he got like pretty mad and upset. And he said like he started like stalking them and coming in the house and trying to talk them into it, right?
Ooh.
Because he didn't have a realtor, so he thought anyways. So they're like, oh, hey, one Sunday he sat on our door for like 3 hours knocking and we wouldn't answer, and he like wouldn't go away. So we called our bishop to have him come over, and I'm like, that kind of sounds like you need to call the cop situation if somebody won't leave your property.
Watch
So
out for Blake Anderson.
yeah, I'm assuming that's who it was, but they didn't really. It might have been another coach or.
It could have. Yeah, it could have been.
But
We won't slander.
But yeah. So yeah, it's a cool
But
house.
we need to go up. That probably needs to be our next trip. Is Logan?
Yeah,
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of stuff up
we
there.
can do. We could do another whole month.
Oh, going back to our Wendover trip. So I'm starting. Did you get a mailer the other day from the casino? Like
I did not.
I got a mailer, a postcard the other day, like saying like, come back. Here's some free hotel stays, like these dates I can go stay for free.
Come back. You made us so much money last time.
Yeah, some free like slot credit and stuff like that we're talking about. So, and then I looked on my app too, and I have a bunch of dates that I can go stay there for free. So you just need to go there once, sign up for their players club, and then you can basically get a free hotel room once a week. It's like better than a timeshare.
Yeah, always have a place to go.
Yeah. So that's our little life hack for everybody out there.
We're full of the life hacks.
But this house it's in Millville, I think that's what it's called. They're right above the cemetery.
Ooh.
And I'm like, oh, that'd be kind of fun. And it made me start thinking of just like all the, you know, what we love to do. We love the
spooky stuff.
And we love the urban legends. So I wonder if there is any urban legends with that cemetery or people seen anything. So we thought it'd be fun today to talk about 7 urban legends that we have here in Utah.
And some we've already actually kind of done on this.
Already talked about. So we got a list, right?
Yeah, we'll brush up on some of those, but yeah, we got a list of only in your state what they deem are the top 7 urban legends in Utah.
Yeah, because we have some interesting urban legends, some more believable than others.
Yeah. So I guess we first kind of go towards Logan, since we're talking about it, this is probably one of the more prominent ones. Most everybody knows about the Bear Lake Monster.
Yeah. There's the Loch Ness Monster and Bear Lake Monster. They're on the same.
They're cousins.
Yeah, it might be the same one.
Could be.
Just flies.
There's
It
like
just
an
flies
underground
back.
tunnel.
That or it flies back and forth.
Oh, it flies now.
I don't know.
Maybe. Have you been to Bear Lake before?
Have I been to Bear Lake? Of course I have.
It's a rite of passage, right?
Yeah, we used to go every summer, right around the Major League Baseball All-Star Week for some reason, whatever week that is.
Oh, you go up every year?
We used to, yeah,
Used
growing
to,
up.
okay.
Yeah, stay at Sweetwater, I think that was called. Those little
But you never
condos.
saw the Bear Lake Monster while there, did you?
Not this monster. No, no. There was a white whale there though.
A white whale?
Mm-hmm. I'll show you next time we go swimming. No, just kidding. Doesn't sound right.
Moving on, a prominent legend back in the 1800s. Someone made up all the stories, and he admitted that he made them up. But I think they have a monster out there that they either put in the water or they put in a parade. There's another episode. We could do a whole Bear Lake episode, but
we need to. Yes.
They do something to pay homage to the theory of the Bear Lake Monster. So that's kind of fun.
But yeah, I mean, there's still some people who believe there's a monster in there because
there are monsters in there.
My understanding is that Bear Lake's pretty deep. It goes pretty deep. So
I am scared of deep water. I'm scared of just not knowing what's beneath me.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's a fish or some kind of Loch Ness monster, they're all monsters to me. Next on the list, we have The Hobbits of Hobbitville, which we did an episode on with our sister podcast, the Utah Famous. We went and checked it out, and we saw 0 hobbits. But I remember in high school, always everybody saying, we went there, and these people chased us out, these little people.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I told on that episode how we drove in, like we were a bunch of us in high school with girls and you and all that good stuff and hanging out with your friends. And I think we drove in to the parking lot, like right off the street, and the girls started freaking out, saying that we were going to die, basically. So we didn't go too deep into it. But it's really cool. And I mean, we already talked before in the episodes prior that it's a real cool place to visit now. It's really basically a park now, right? The city owns it.
It is cool.
And you can go walk around and check it out. It's one of those places that when you have people coming to town from out of state and they're like, hey, take me somewhere unique, it's a good place to take them.
Yeah. And it sounds like they're doing some revitalization efforts.
Yeah. I've driven by a few times over the last month or two, and but I need to stop in and see if anything looks different.
It says on this site that you can still rent houses. I don't think that's the case right now, but
I don't think so either.
But maybe eventually you can go. And I think it'd be cool if they did some kind of a Lord of the Rings tie-in, some kind of a Hobbit house. That would be a fun thing to add in.
Maybe do like an Airbnb Hobbitville.
Yeah, people like that.
My friend, who has some money, lives over in South Jordan, and he had like this big. He lives like on the hillside, so he made on the hill in his backyard the house from or the Hobbit, whatever. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
In the Shire.
Yeah, so you can go inside and pretend you're a Hobbit. Have your tea or
They
don't
whatever. Even need to do it here. You can just go to your friend's house.
Yeah. Sure, he would welcome anybody, or he and his wife will.
Next, I'd never heard of this one. Maybe you had, Nate, but the story of a 6-year-old Utah girl who lost her hands because her father punched her with a hammer. So she was playing in the garage.
Play mechanic in the garage.
Like we all do from time to time. and she was banging on the car, which you're not supposed to do with a hammer. You're not supposed to just hit a car. And he wasn't happy about that, so he took the hammer and smashed her hands, which resulted in her hands being amputated.
And apparently the mom didn't press charges because she says the husband was responsible for discipline in the home. I'm like, I think right there, that alone lets you know this is a urban legend, right? Because I don't think at that point it's up to the mom to press charges. Child services or the cops would take matters in their own hands, wouldn't they?
This was in the 80s, though, man. This was a different time.
That's true. That's true.
No, I still think you're right. In the 80s, I think they still would have not let somebody just get away with something like that. But what do I know?
Yeah. But apparently didn't reporter like call Primary Children's Hospital and they're like, yeah, we have no records of anything like that.
So they say.
So they say.
I'm not going to tell you. But no, I don't think this happened. I'm sure, I mean, terrible, child abuse is terrible. And I'm sure terrible things happen. Maybe something like this has happened before, but nothing of like this that we know of in Utah.
Yeah.
Well carcasses, though, there is some credence to this because there is a well now here in Utah that people apparently worship. Again,
oh yeah,
another episode we can do, the Great White Whale.
The Great White Whale and the ninth, is it ninth and ninth?
Yeah.
And the ninth and ninth well, and then the Carcass well.
The 2014 Carcass well.
Yeah.
Which from the get-go was posted on a satire site, a satirical site.
Yeah.
And someone shared it and it went viral and everybody thought that here in Farmington, a farmer found a dead whale in his field.
And it makes sense because we got the Great Salt Lake nearby. So people assumed a whale could survive in Salt Lake. But forgetting that the lake is way too shallow to house such large creatures, let alone feed them.
True. You can only eat so much brine shrimp.
Yeah. And there's no water in the Salt Lake right now. Maybe we'll get some with this melt off.
Maybe we'll get whales now that there's more water.
But it is getting harder and harder, like when you're scrolling through Facebook or even the internet, to know like which websites are factual and which ones. Like I get all these posts all the time from these sports places, and then some of them seem like, oh, this could be real. Then like, oh, that must be fake. And then sometimes when I think they're fake, it's actually real. So I'm like, I never know what to believe.
It's hard.
Yeah. But I thought it was a law.
Snopes is great for that.
Right. Well, I thought it was a law that everything you put on the internet had to be true. So I'm a little confused.
I thought it was a law that you couldn't have a light on in the car while you were driving. And my daughter also thinks that's a law.
Should be. We just always say you're going to kill everybody in the car because the driver can't see.
Exactly. The next one is one we've talked about again, the Disneyland hearse. So there's a hearse at the Haunted Mansion in California, and it was rumored that this was the hearse used to transport the body of Brigham Young to his funeral, but that was not the case.
It's not his, but in our hearts, and it always will be. Yeah, right?
That's for sure.
Yesterday, I was at Goodwill because they're doing their half off sale that I haven't done for a while. And they had a Brigham Young bookshelf holder. What do you call that? Is that what it's called? Book holder.
Okay.
You know, that
like
was
a bookend?
Yeah, bookend. Yeah. So it was like a brass looking thing of his head about the size of my hand, and it had the Bible behind it. And I looked at it, I'm like, oh shit. And I couldn't tell. I'm like, is this Brigham Young? I can't tell. And I took a picture of it and went home and did some research. I'm like, oh, it is Brigham Young. I'm like, oh, I'm going to run back and grab it before this sale ends. So I was probably from the time I left the store to coming home, it was like less than an hour. When I went back, somebody already took it. Somebody bought it. I'm like, doggone it.
Can't sleep on those things, man.
What do they call it when you don't buy something? You have buyer's remorse, non-buyer's remorse, not buying it remorse.
FOMO.
FOMO. Yeah.
But you didn't have enough FOMO in the moment, so.
No, because I wasn't, like I said, I wasn't 100% sure it was him, because like it wasn't like the best.
How much was it?
Oh gosh, I think it only would have been after the coupon, maybe $5.
Oh my gosh.
So I should have done it. But then if it wasn't Brigham Young, then my wife would have got mad at me and said, "Why did you buy this junk?"
Can you return it? Do they have
that's true
return policy?
Yeah, I think you get store credit.
Really?
Oh, I think so. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to return something to Goodwill.
That's a great way for them to make money. Yeah. Oh yeah, sure, return it. But you can't get your money back.
Goodwill, they are getting very wise, though. This is total tangent, though, to all the resellers. And so they're figuring out what stuff is valuable, and they won't put it on the floor anymore. They put it on their auction websites. It's dumb. So, yeah, we can talk about that another day.
It's a whole other episode. A whole DI episode, too, that we haven't done.
Oh, my gosh. How have we not done DI?
Tell you one thing you shouldn't take, though, is petrified wood from Escalante.
I'm petrified to take it. I'm petrified.
You should be, because
once I was afraid, I was petrified.
There is a rumor, a legend, if you will, that if you take the petrified wood from the state park, it will cause you bad luck. Over the years, the state park has received at least a dozen letters from previous visitors who stole some and sent it back saying they had a terrible life. They had accidents, lost jobs, other misfortunes. Either way, it's illegal to do, so do not take petrified wood from that or any state park for that matter. You may be like Nate and be cursed.
Yeah. I don't think I've ever been to Escalante Petrified Forest.
Neither have I.
But I don't want to go there anymore.
I almost went once, but I didn't.
You were too scared.
It was too far.
Too far. But kind of related, petrified wood. Apparently, we did an episode a few months ago about oh my gosh, I'm having a brain fart. The Hawaiian
Iosepa.
And apparently, if you go up a little hike, about a mile hike above it, they have some carvings in petrified wood that they did of Hawaii. Yeah. The guy in my hockey team was showing me pictures that he hiked up and saw.
I'll be honest, even knowing that, I still probably wouldn't have went up with how cold it was.
Oh no, I told him that too. I'm like, when we were there, it was freezing. So, and there was like wolf tracks or bear tracks. I don't know. We could have died.
We could have died.
So we didn't want to do it. And the last legend on this list is about a Provo teen who cooks herself in tanning bed. She overtanned it led to her death because she cooked her internal organs.
She's trying to look good for Hawaii.
Yeah, speaking of Hawaii, yeah, trying to look good for her Hawaii trip. And what they say that she went from tanning store to tanning store. What do you call those places?
Tanning salon.
Tanning salon.
She went to 7 different tanning salons
in one day, to where she ended up at Utah Valley Regional Medical Center, blind and with her internal organs shutting down because she had cooked herself in the tanning beds.
This sounds like a smear campaign by the Sun. The Sun being mad that everybody's tanning in tanning salons rather than the natural way.
Taking its business away.
Like, I won't cook your organs, but a tanning salon will.
Mm-hmm. But apparently, a woman wrote a letter to Dear Abby about the Provo teen. Abby quickly disapproved it with a call to the Utah Valley Regional Medical Center. It says a version of this urban legend circles around the country every so often, but it's just a story. It never happened. Or did it?
Maybe it could. Maybe it could happen. Why don't you try it, Nate?
I don't think I've ever been in a tanning bed before. Have you?
No, I've never. I don't know if I've ever tried to tan, just because it always leads to misery.
Like I've laid out before a few times, like in high school and whatnot, but it's not my jam. I do we went to my boys' baseball game, then right after went to my daughter's soccer game 2 weeks ago, and so we were out in the sun for 2 hours straight. But I was outside 2 hours prior playing pickleball, but my whole family got cooked besides me because I think I'm outside so much anyways.
You're used to it.
That I've got leather skin now. So
you built a cancerous tolerance.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are our urban legends we have for today. Top 7. I'm sure there's plenty more that we can come up with, Utah. So let us know what your favorite urban legend is, and maybe we'll talk about it.
The good thing and bad thing about the internet is that the internet makes it easy to find information, but it also ruins the urban legends because all these rumors and stuff, like it's too easy to
dispel,
to fact check stuff. So I kind of miss that about the 80s and 90s where you hear all these legends about in your school. I'm sure your high school probably has some legends, and
like Marilyn Manson, like that was a
prevalent
one. I won't say any more than that, but
I actually used that in the show we were watching. Anyways, we're not the Marilyn Manson thing. They took this same legend and put it on somebody else in high school. But, and so I mean, you had like the urban legends, you had all the celebrities, a Mormon legend stuff. But it gets, like you said, it's easy to fact check and figure stuff out now with the internet. So doggone you, internet, taking our fun stories away.
But if you've got any, that might be legit, let us know, and we'll do the work. We'll investigate it. Nate will.
I'll find the story on the internet and send it to Brandon to read.
Exactly. And also, just of note, Mother's Day this weekend, so don't forget your moms, the women in your life, and happy Mother's Day to all the ladies out there.
Oh, you ladies out there.
That's a weird way to say happy Mother's Day.
Happy your mom.
Thanks for listening to This Is a Place podcast.
And this was something we just talked about. See you next week.